doing homework corrections. Question number 8. Show that the roots of this equation are not real for all values of p. Okay. So if the roots are not real, then that means that the discriminant is less than 0. And graphically, it means if you sketch this quadratic curve, then it won't be touching the x-axis at all. If a curve touches the x-axis, that's how you get the roots of the curve. So if a curve goes like this through the x-axis, then these are the two roots. Or if a curve goes like this through the x-axis, then this is the one repeated root. So in this case, where there's no solution, that means that the curve does not touch the x-axis at all. So this is the case when the discriminant is b square minus 4ac is less than 0. So that's how we'll start the question. Show that the roots of this equation are not real for all values of p. Okay, so let's get the discriminant for that. ये हमने कल किया तो नहीं था? X
नहीं मिस,
square.
क्वेश्चन 7 तक किया है.
ठीक है, असल में ना मैंने थोड़ी नंबरिंग चेंज की थी. Okay, चलो let's go ahead and do it anyway. Minus 2p minus 1x plus p square plus 1 minus p is equals to 0. Before you can extract the discriminant from any quadratic equation, you must have equals to 0 at one end so that you can get its a, b, and c. Now I can tell that a is 1, b is minus bracket 2p minus 1. That is b. And c is the constant term, which is going to be all of this, the non-x terms. So c is p square minus p plus 1. Is that how you started the question, Abu Bakr?
जी मिस, ऐसे ही किया.
इसी तरह क्या? Okay. So b square minus 4ac अब करते हैं. Let's do it here. Let me clear this. So b square minus 4ac. b is minus 2p minus 1 whole square minus 4. A is 1 and c is p square minus p plus 1. Okay, is less than 0. This is what we have to show. Okay, now let's expand it. 4p square. Negative can be ignored because when you square a negative value, it just becomes positive. So I'm going to totally ignore this, like it does not exist. And I'm going to whole square 2t minus 1. So I'm going to use the algebraic identity directly. If you're not comfortable with that, you should be, by the way, but just in case you're not, you multiply these two brackets together. It'll be slightly longer process, but I'm going to directly use the identity. A square minus 2ab plus b square. So this is how we'll expand the whole square part. And then we have, I'm going to multiply minus 4 with the rest of the bracket. 1 can be ignored because if you not multiply 1 with anything, it's just the same value. So minus 4p square plus 4p. And then minus 4 is less than 0. So अब क्या हो रहा है कि p की term तो completely cancel हो रही है. Look, this 4p square and minus 4p square gets cancelled. Minus 4p plus 4p gets cancelled. So we have minus 3 is less than 0. So it's always true. So p की कोई भी value हो जाए, for any value of p, you'll always get minus 3 as your answer of discriminant. So you've all proved what was supposed to be shown. It was saying that for all values of p, you don't get a real solution. So कब नहीं आता real solution? जब आपका discriminant negative हो. तो अभी question उन्होंने ऐसा बनाया है कि p तो cancel हो रहा है and the discriminant is minus 3. It's a constant. तो फिर p की value चाहे 50 हो, चाहे minus 50 हो, चाहे 2 हो, चाहे minus 2 हो, we don't care क्योंकि उसने तो cancel होगा. So for all possible values of p, discriminant is going to be negative. So that is all you have to do in this question. अबू बकर, आपने एक्सपेंशन में गलती की हुई है. ठीक है, 4 से मल्टीप्लाई आपने
मिस मैंने
पी को नहीं मल्टीप्लाई
मिस मैंने
हाँ लास्ट
मिस
वाले.
मैंने पी को मल्टीप्लाई नहीं किया और मैंने +4 से 1 को मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया तो -4 ने लिखा.
ओके ठीक है, this is all you have to do with this question. That's it. Okay, now let's do question number 9. Let's just quickly finish this so that we can start the last topic. Can I clear this?
कुछ कर लें.
Okay. 9. State the coordinates of the stationary point of this curve. We did this the other day. We did an entire worksheet on this. That how do we find coordinates of stationary point from a completed square form? Let's quickly revise that. We have y in completed square form. X minus 1 whole square plus 3. This is called the completed square form. You can state the coordinates of the stationary point just by looking at the equation. What you do, you equate this term to 0. When we equate this to 0, we get x equals 1. So the x coordinate of the stationary point is 1, comma, for y, you retain this value, whatever it is. If it's plus 3, then the y is plus 3. If this was minus 3, then our y would have been minus 3. So the coordinates of the turning points are 1, 3. ठीक है अबू बकर, याद आया?
जी मिस आ गया.
ठीक है, okay. What else? And sketch the curve. Okay. So we now know the stationary points. Let's quickly sketch the curve. The stationary points are 1, 3. First answer is 1, 3. Okay, so 1 is here, 3 is here. Oops, this is supposed to be 1. This is 3. So the curve will turn here. It's either going to be a curve like this or a curve like this. Depends if it's x square, then it's u. And if it's negative x square, it's going to be an upside down u. It's plus x square. Because when you expand it, you will get 2x square after expansion. So that means it's going to be a u-shaped curve. Okay. It's going to be a u-shaped curve. So it goes like this. यूं करके कोई curve. Okay. In case the question says, state the coordinates of the points of intersection on the x-axis and y-axis. तो आपने बताना है कि curve y-axis को किधर कट करिए, x-axis को किधर कट करिए. Usually questions में ये भी लिखा होता है. So we'll have to show that where is our curve cutting the y-axis. X-axis को तो ये कट ही नहीं करी. So to show where the curve cuts the x-axis, we know that x is 0 at this point. So substitute x is equals to 0 in the curve equation. Y is equals to 2, 0 minus 1 whole square plus 3. So that is just going to be 2 times 1 plus 3, which is 5. So this would be 5. You'll have to state 5 in the graph as well. So that's the sketch. Okay. And sketch the curve, done. Find the value of C for which the line 2x plus C is tangent to the curve. Okay. The other day we discussed 3 cases. One was when a curve and a line do not meet at all. The other case was when a curve and a line meet at one point only where the line is tangent to the curve, जो कि part B में कहा हुआ है. And the third case is when the line and the curve meet so that there are 2 points of intersection. So here there are 2 points of intersection. Here there's only 1 point of intersection. And in the first case, there's no point of intersection. So first वो case है जिसमें no solution है. No solution. No point of intersection. आपको इस line और curve का कोई solution ही नहीं मिलेगा. इसमें you get 1 root or टू रिपीटेड रूट सेम आंसर आता है, और क्योंकि क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन होती है, यू से के फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ 3 आंसर आया, x equals to 3, so you write x equals to 3 twice. So you may say that there is this is the case of repeated roots. You get repeated answers, and in this case you're getting two distinct answer. You get two separate answers, they are not repeated. For example, एक आंसर 2 आ रहा है और यहाँ पे 3 आ रहा है, so you get two sets of different answers. So you say you have real solution and the solutions are distinct. They are two different solutions. So in the first case, Abdullah, can you recall which case of discriminant is the first case?
Miss, no solution.
No
B square minus 4ac is less than 0.
Yes, here the discriminant is less than 0. Second case, when you have one solution, what case of discriminant is that?
B square minus 4ac is equal to 0.
Yes, b square minus 4ac is equals to 0. And what's the last case when you get two answers?
B square minus 4ac is greater than 0.
Yes, b square minus 4ac is greater than 0. All right. So let's quickly do that. Okay, we're on this part. Find the value of c for which this line is tangent to the curve. Okay, so first we'll have to simultaneously solve the two equations. So the first one is y equals 2x minus 1 whole square plus 3, and the other one is y equals 2x plus c. So I've merged the two equations. दोनों की एक side y है, so we can just equate them. Okay, now I'm going to bring them to the same side. So before that, I would need to extract the values of a, b, and c from this entire equation. So you'll have to expand this first. So expand bhi karna padega. It's slightly longer question. So 2 times a square minus 2ab plus b square plus 3 minus 2x minus c is equals to 0. So we have 2x square, then minus 4x, and then minus 2x along with that. Then we have plus 2 plus 3 minus c is equals to 0. So 2x square minus 6x plus 3, 5 minus c is equals to 0. So a is 2, b is minus 6, and c is 5 minus c. कंप्लीटली एक्सपैंड करना पड़ा इस इक्वेशन को, क्योंकि उन्होंने हमें कंप्लीटेड स्क्वायर फॉर्म में दिया हुआ था एक बार. Okay, now we're going to use b square minus 4ac is equals to 0. So b square would be minus 6 whole square minus 4. A would be 2. अगर मैंने कोई गलती की है तो प्लीज देख लेना. Minus times 5 minus c is equals to 0. So it's 36 minus 8 times 5 minus c equals to 0. Zoom is telling me that my internet connection is unstable. Am I lagging? तो फिर मैं वीडियो बंद कर देती.
मेरे बीच में आपकी आवाज कट रही है बस.
ठीक है, तो I'm going to stop the video. Hopefully बेहतर हो जाएगा. Let me know if I'm still lagging for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to expand this 36 minus 40 plus 8c is equals to 0. 8c equals 4. C equals half. So the answer for C is half in 9A. Can I clear this? for
आज
part
पढ़ने
B. So are you around?
Yep.
समझ आ रहा है कि
जी
नहीं? ये आपको इसकी बेसिक थ्योरी पता थी ऑलरेडी?
एक सेकंड फिर से.
आपको इसकी थ्योरी पता थी जो हमने बहुत जल्दी से डिस्कस किया कि व्हेन इज द डिस्क्रिमिनेंट लेस देन 0, ग्रेटर देन 0, इक्वल्स टू 0 एंड ऑल दैट.
जी
ओके
पता
ग्रेट.
था.
Okay, great, great. All right, part B. Find the largest negative value of P for which the equation to have real roots. Okay. अब उन्होंने कहा real roots होने चाहिए एक equation के. So let's draw 3 cases of quadratic equation again as a quick recap. This is one sketch of a quadratic equation. This is another sketch of a quadratic equation. It's supposed to be tangent. Should only cut at one point. And then this is another sketch of a quadratic equation. No solution because it's not cutting the x-axis at all. Repeated solutions. Because you don't just say it's one solution. Since it's a quadratic equation, it will give 2 solutions. So like I said before, if this is 2, you say that both the answers are x equals to 2. So repeated solution or repeated roots. And here you have 2 real and distinct roots. Okay, so repeated, okay. Now when it says that have real roots, so it could be this case as well, because jo x is equals to 2 or x is equals to 2 aaya, these are also real roots. And it could be this as well, where let's say this was 2 and the other one was 3, 2 and 3. X is equals to 2 and x equals to 2. These are also 2 real roots. So both these cases give 2 real roots. Question is specify nahi kiya ki those 2 real roots are repeated roots, which is going to be the second case, or 2 distinct real roots, which is going to be the third case. Nahi bataya clarity ke saath. So that means you have to merge both the cases together. जो जिसमें एक रूट आता है उसमें b square minus 4ac is equals to 0, और जिसमें 2 repeated roots आते हैं उसमें b square minus 4ac is greater than equals to 0. So sorry, it's greater than 0, not equals to, greater than. So when we're expected to merge both of these cases, then we say that now b square minus 4ac would be greater than or equals to 0. So you must write an equals to sign underneath the inequality in this question. So अब equality के नीचे under root का sign, equals to का sign आ गया, and rest the remaining question is exactly the same. That you extract the discriminant a, b, and c, and then you equate it to greater than equals to 0. So let's do that. Let's write 0 at 1 and 4x square minus px minus 8 is equals to 0. A is 4, b is minus p, and c is minus 8. A is 4, B is minus P, and C is going to be minus 8. Yes. Okay. So B square minus 4AC is greater than equals to 0. So minus P whole square minus 4 times minus 8 is greater than equals to 0. So we get P square here minus what is 4 times 8. That
plus
is 1.
plus 128.
Plus 128. Okay. Plus 128 is greater than equals to 0. तो लगता है कुछ गलत हो रहा है. Just give me a quick second. ये plus 8 था. This was plus 8. जिसको मैंने minus 8 लिखा हुआ है. Yes. C is plus 8. This is going to be plus 8. So this is going to be negative. अच्छा मैं इसे मना करती हूँ. Minus 128. So P square is greater than equals to 128. So P is, achha, let me just sketch this. Let's just treat it as an equals to sign first to get the critical values. P square equals 128. So the two values of P would be plus minus square root of 128. It's going to be 11.31. So if I sketch it on a XY plane, let me do that here at the top, because it's not really part of the solution. It just helps to give clarity. 11.31 minus 11.31. And a quadratic curve passes through it. And our answer is, our inequality is greater than equals to 0. So the curve is greater than equals to 0 in this region, and the curve is greater than equals to this region. So Abu Bakr, give me two inequalities of P satisfying these regions.
Miss P is greater than 11.31.
Greater than and equals to, क्योंकि हमारे इसके साथ greater than equals to था 11.31 and
Miss P is smaller than negative 11.31.
minus 11. Find the largest negative integer value of P. Largest negative integer value of P. Let's see. इसका मतलब है हमने negative side को देखना है, हमने positive side को ignore करना है. Let's see. अच्छा जी. If I draw this on a number line, वो कह रहे हैं minus 11.3 से छोटी value. So what's the next value smaller than minus 11.3? यहाँ पे इसके left पे क्या होगा? If this is a number line. Number line कैसे होती है? बीच में 0 होता है. यहाँ पे होता है 1, 2, 3. यहाँ पे होता है -1, -2, -3. So minus 11.31 के लेफ्ट साइड पे आपको -12 मिलेगा और राइट साइड पे -11 मिलेगा. So what's the largest integer value in this region?
मिस आपकी आवाज बहुत कटी है, आप प्लीज रिपीट कर दें.
Okay, I'm sorry. अब आवाज आ रही है मेरी?
जी मिस अब आ रही है.
देखो उन्होंने क्वेश्चन में कहा है फाइंड द लार्जेस्ट नेगेटिव इंटीजर वैल्यू ऑफ पी. तो हमने ना खाली नेगेटिव साइड को देखना है, पॉजिटिव उनको आंसर चाहिए ही नहीं, उनको नेगेटिव आंसर चाहिए. ठीक है. और अब इसमें से ना लार्जेस्ट आंसर चाहिए. अब -11.31 से छोटी वैल्यूज क्या होंगी? -12, -13, -14, -15 एंड सो ऑन. इनमें सबसे
-1.
नहीं, -1 कैसे होगी?
-11.
-11 is actually bigger than -11.31. देखो -11 राइट साइड पे आता है, इधर -11 आता है, यहाँ पे -12 आता है और यहाँ पे कहीं वो एक्चुअल नंबर है 11.31.
तो फिर वो ये नहीं कह रहे थे कि लार्जेस्ट नेगेटिव वैल्यू.
हाँ, तो लार्जेस्ट नेगेटिव वैल्यू देखो, अब इधर -12 होगा, फिर -13 होगा, फिर -14 होगा. इन सब में लार्जेस्ट कौन सी है? It's -12 because in negative numbers the smaller numbers are actually bigger now. You owe somebody $100 or you owe somebody $1,000. इसमें बड़ा नंबर कौन सा होगा? $100 because you owe someone less money.
राइट.
ठीक है. So you're richer if you owe someone just $100. You're poor if you owe someone $1,000 या rupees. ठीक है. So negative numbers में जितना छोटा नंबर हो वो एक्चुअली बड़ा नंबर होता है. ठीक है. सो जो हमारे इंटीजर्स आंसर है ना वो ये है -12, -13, -14 एंड द लिस्ट गोज ऑन एंड ऑन एंड ऑन, नेवर स्टॉप्स, इट गोज टिल नेगेटिव इंफिनिटी. इस पूरी लिस्ट में सबसे बड़ा नंबर है -12. सो योर आंसर वुड बी P equals -12. दिस इज द आंसर.
मिस ये मुझे बिल्कुल समझ नहीं आया कि -12 कैसे आया.
अच्छा, मैं एक और तरह से समझाती हूँ. एक केस है P is greater than 3.2. ठीक है. तो अगर मैं इसको नंबर लाइन पे बनाऊं तो पहले 3 आएगा, राइट, 4 आएगा, 5 आएगा, 3.2 यहाँ पे.
जी
ठीक है. अब मुझे बताओ कि इस रेंज में ग्रेटर देन 3.2 में सबसे छोटा इंटीजर आंसर कौन सा? 3.2 से बड़ा, 3.2 से बड़ा होना चाहिए लेकिन इंटीजर आंसर होना चाहिए, बट सबसे छोटा।
मिस 4।
4 इज द करेक्ट आंसर। और ऐसे सिनेरियो में ना वो आपसे हमेशा स्मॉलेस्ट पॉसिबल आंसर पूछेंगे, वो बिगेस्ट तो पूछ ही नहीं सकते। बिगेस्ट क्यों नहीं पूछ सकते ऐसे केस में?
क्योंकि वो आगे जाता रहेगा।
हाँ, it's going to be infinite. So they're never going to ask what's the biggest integer value in this range because that's going to be infinity. वो तो हम नहीं लिख सकते. So they will always say कि what's the smallest integer answer. However, अब अगर हम कहें कि p is less than 3.2. So that means again इधर 3 है, इधर 4 है, 3.2 यहाँ पे कहीं है. But up
3
less than 3.2 ka, yes. So that means you have to take a look at 3, 2, 1, 0 and -1 and so on. अब ये range है आपकी. इनमें इसमें से अगर ये पूछेंगे ना तो ये कहेंगे what's the biggest answer in this range? Because they can't ask for the smallest value because the smallest value would be negative infinite. So they will always ask for the biggest possible value. So what is the biggest possible integer value where p is less than 3.2? That is what Adan said, it's 3. That is what Dua said, 3. ठीक है? अबू बकर, ये बात समझ आई? अब
समझ आ
वापस उस क्वेश्चन पे आते हैं. उसमें था p is less than -11.2 something like that. यही था ना? Yes, ऐसा ही कुछ था.
11.31।
ठीक है, -11.31. तो यहाँ -11 आ गया, यहाँ -12 आ गया और यहाँ लेट्स से -10 आ गया और यहाँ पे कहीं है -11.3. तो लेस देन वाला रीजन ये है, इधर जा रहा है. और इधर सबसे बड़ी वैल्यू क्या है जो फौरन उसके बाद आती है लेफ्ट साइड पे? इट्स -12. ठीक है, दैट इज व्हाई -12 वाज योर आंसर. ठीक है अबू बकर?
समझ आ गई है।
ओके, ऑल राइट. अच्छा, now I'm going to end this lesson here. I'm going to send you a new link ताकि वो नया टॉपिक नई वीडियो में आ जाए मेरी. ठीक है, I'm sending you a new link now.